And lots of people go into Nicholas Moore and say, we love the ambience, we love the books. I say, you guys have to try the ladder. Seriously, it's just the coolest thing. It also came true for me when in this bookstore in the Philippines, my dad knew the owner, and he basically offered me any book I wanted. I remember I took the Sweet Valley Kids book, Andy and the Aliens, and I went home and realized I already owned it. So kind of sad, but it's very sweet of him. My love for books came from my mom, who was a huge Nancy Drew fan. We don't have public libraries in the Philippines, and her family couldn't afford books, so she actually borrowed the entire series from her classmate, read it one book a day over a couple months, and she vowed when she grew up and had kids, she would buy us the whole series. So this one is the first book I ever had signed by the author. It's in 7th grade, it's a Filipino grammar textbook, and our teacher actually edited it. For some reason, one of my classmates asked her to sign her copy, and the rest of us just kind of stood up and stood in line. One of my favorite things about moving to Canada was that we could get things signed by other kinds of authors, and not just teachers. This is a picture from the International Festival of Authors at Harbourfront, one of my personal favorite festivals. Just think authors from all over the world coming here to Toronto talking about great books. This one here with the street mixes a few of my favorite things: sunshine, green grass and parks, and lots of great books. Again, a wonderful chance to meet authors, meet fellow book lovers, and just kind of explore Queen's Park. I just love this thing. One of my favorite experiences, I got to meet Margaret Atwood. I didn't get a picture with her, but I'm up there in that corner. That type of picture with her, and I'm in the corner. I was there. Yeah, she was just really cool, much nicer than I was hoping for, really. This guy, Joe Nesbo, he's a crime writer from Sweden. Really creepy mind, very disturbing mysteries, lots of torture scenes and everything, but he's really the nicest guy in person. Although, to be honest, I hesitated before I had my picture taken with him, because I just kept thinking, this guy's a really twisted mind. A big Agatha Christie fan. One of the best things, again, about being in Canada was that publishers are a lot more accessible. I challenged someone from HarperCollins to an Agatha Christie quiz online, and he won by 1 point, but, you know, it's still cool. Just get like Agatha Christie boxing gloves and stuff. Another one is, also by HarperCollins, is the 50-book pledge. And the whole idea is to read 50 books in 1 year. I mean, I generally read about that much fairly easily, but the cool thing about this is that I find that I get to keep track of the books I read. This one, I read this year, one of my biggest achievements, just because I've tried reading it several times over the past few years, and I just kept giving up. It's just long, it's complicated, people have the same names. This January, I'm sitting down and finishing this damn book, and I did. Yay. This book changed my life as a kid. It basically tells you to follow your dreams, not to stick to any prescribed path. Last year, they came out with a beautiful gift edition, and when I saw it, really, it was like my childhood dreams come to life. So I'm like, it's a beautiful book, it's a beautiful edition. This one, I love this book, Chronicles of Harris Verdict. And basically, they have illustrations with captions, and readers are encouraged to create their own stories from those captions. And I just think it's a wonderful interplay between being a reader and being a creator. I love that. Love this series. Flavia de Luz, kind of like Nancy Drew meets Sherlock Holmes, set in the village of Miss Marple. And I was very lucky I got an advanced reading copy, which has a copy stain, which you can't see here, but just because it was an advanced reading copy, it felt a lot more special. One of my favorite books also from the past year, among others. I like telling people that it's a bit of a love story, the books. Main character loses her sister and is sent away to boarding school, and she finds solace in books and in science fiction club. Love it. This book made me bawl, basically. It's about a little kid dealing with his mom who's dying of cancer. and my mom just died of cancer when I read it. So, wonderful, beautiful book, and it really hits you emotionally. At least it hit me emotionally. Hilarious book. Any Kate fans in the audience? Yeah. She basically takes historical figures and puts, or literary figures, and puts them in weird situations. So it's hilarious, but it's also like smart, funny, because you kind of have to get the joke. You kind of have to know a bit about the background to get the jokes. One of my favorite books just for the book. It's gorgeous. And I read that this is two layers basically. This one here is made out of tissue. Just beautiful and fragile. And I think, you know, it just speaks the beauty of the physical book. This one is my favorite book of all time. My cousin gave it to me when I was 12. As you can see, it's really old and falling apart. Complete works of Sherlock Holmes. Big Sherlock Holmes fan, and I think I just like that it's so falling apart. I can imagine so many people having read it before me. And